Alright then. Hello again, folks. 2022, here we go. We're going to start with something a little bit different in terms of answering a few questions. So, one of the biggest questions that I get asked quite often, so I'm going to start with this one for the new year, is most people know I'm a big fan of the company Eduard, but a lot of people are a bit confused about the various boxings, etc., and like who the hell they are. So, I thought I'd give it a quick rundown. So, Eduard are a Czech company. Currently, obviously, it's been Czechoslovakia in the past. They started all the way back in 1992. This whole catalogue here I've got. They started off as an aftermarket company, mainly dealing with etched brass bits. So, the likes of these lovely move before flight tags, and this nice set to dress up a trumpeter flagon. But very, very quickly, they upgraded and started reboxing other people's kits with all of their aftermarket, meaning that you only had to go to one place to get the best kit of an available subject at the time. Obviously, that changes over the years. All your etch bits, your mask set for the canopy, boom, away you go. This went on for a little while until eventually they started releasing their own kits as well. So they moved into actually making the kits in the first place. Now, remember that for a little bit later on, because they still do that. Okay? So, the various boxings. Things start from what they refer to as a weekend kit. Now, a weekend kit doesn't really just mean that it can be completed in a weekend. It might be shorter, it might be longer. That's not the point. In a weekend kit, you will get usually their own plastic. Okay? Ignore that. That's me later on. Right. And in a weekend kit, you'll basically just get the plastic, the instructions, and the markings for usually 1 to 3 versions. That's it. So, no etch, no resin, no canopy masks, nothing. Just the basics that you need to make a nice kit. This would be broadly equivalent to how Airfix tends to do things. Keep things simple. Give them the plastic, give them the instructions, and give them a marking choice or two. Okay? Now, obviously, I've gone and bought some bits here for this kit later on, but they did not come in the box. Then you have what you generally regard to be the standard standard Eduard boxing, which is what they call a Profipack kit. Now, a Profipack kit is, again, generally their own plastic normally. Okay? But in this, you will get, again, like they started off with the company, the basics from their aftermarket line to complete a slightly nicer model. Okay? So this would be your slightly more advanced version of the kit. So in here, you will get some etch. You will get, I picked the worst ones here because I've gone and stuck other stuff in the boxes. But you'll get some etch. You'll get some resin occasionally. You might get, you'll get your canopy mask every time. And you might get some other bits and pieces. But more importantly, you'll get many more markings. So straight from the box, you won't have an option of 1 or 2. You'll have an option of sort of 4 or more. This particular one has an option for 6 different markings in this box. And the price will reflect that. I've often said that, like for like, Eduard are actually a really, really good value for money. Especially if you look at the weekend edition kits. So if you look at, say, a weekend edition Eduard Spitfire 1 Mark 1 and an Airfix Mark 1, the price is astronomically different. Now, people tend to look at the Profipack kits and go, well, no, the Eduard kit's more expensive. Well, that's not true, because the Profipack kit has the kit and a bunch of extras. And generally speaking, it's a lot cheaper than buying them separately. But obviously, if you don't like resin, you don't like etch, etc., this isn't the one for you. The weekend one's the one for you. Save yourself some cash. Now, of course, a bit more on this later. You're going to build this kit, and you're going to have a lot of extra markings left. Just saying. Next up is what they call their limited edition kits. Now, these aren't the easiest to explain. So, sometimes these will be their own plastic, sometimes they won't. So this is an old hangover from their old days. This particular one, of course, is one of their kits. Again, I do suggest going on Scalemates every time, just to be sure. But if it's not, it's generally considered to be the best plastic available at that time. Okay? Limited edition kits usually aren't out for long. They'll have specific markings that are different from the other boxings. And they will usually have, again, a little bit more extra. So they'll have everything that's in a Profit Pack kit. They'll have a mask set, they'll have some etch, they might have some resin, they might have some other bits, they might have a poster, something like that. Quite often as well, there won't be just one kit in there. So especially if the kit is small, like in 1/72, it may be a dual combo with 2 full kits in. Again, full etch, full masks for both. Or it may even be a triple or quad boxing, which has, again, 4 kits in the box. Again, break down that money, work it out. Work out what the best way to buy is. Again, these are generally not out for very long. So if there's a particular marking that you want that's in that boxing, you might want to go for it relatively quickly. They tend to come back, they tend to disappear, but they can't be guaranteed. Okay? These are usually followed by a Profit Pack kit, a weekend kit, and so on. Now, these are also generally started to replace something you used to get. Which is Royal Class Boxing. Now, Royal Class Boxing used to be their top boxing of a particular kit. Again, generally their own plastic normally. Okay, these kits usually, again, have more than one kit in, at least 2, sometimes as many as 3 or 4. And they, at the time anyway, would usually have all of their aftermarket. Okay, you would not just have markings for 1 or 2, you would have markings for anything up to 12, 13, even 20 or 30 different marking options. You'll have resin. You'll, again, still have all the etch, all the mask sets, again, for all the kits that are in the box. These are usually more expensive, but again, on balance, when you start breaking down like how much kit you get for that money, it usually works out quite a lot cheaper. So something like this, for example, this 1/72 kit, 2 MiG-21s. I think this was about 60 quid when I bought it, and you think 60 quid? And it's like, well, that's 30 quid each. Anyway, that's about 15 quid each for the plastic, about another tenner for the aftermarket marking sheet, about another £5 to £10 for the masks, and another £5 to £10 for that. Oh, then there's the resin. You're now pushing well over £100 to add it all up. So again, if you're going in big, it can be a bit of an investment as well. Now, as I've said, if you do go for, say, a limited edition kit or a Royal kit, they say these have been mostly replaced by some of the limited edition kits now. These have also had all sorts of other cool stuff in, like bits of real aircraft, glasses, drinking glasses, posters, all sorts of other cool stuff. So I really do hope they do bring these back, but never mind. You'll note, however, of course, that, again, you've got 2 kits in here, but lots and lots of marking options. Now, perhaps maybe you kind of fancy like quickly throwing on together with one of the other markings, maybe for someone else, maybe as a present, something like that. Maybe you've still bought even more aftermarket options later on, because there was still yet another one you wanted to do. We don't really want to be going and buying a full Royal Class kit again, do you? And that is where Eduard's website comes in. Because there's one other sort of boxing they do. Looks weird, huh? Just a white box. This is because this isn't exactly a retail kit. These can only be bought from the website. And these are what's called an Overtrees kit. An Overtrees kit is just the plastic. And that's it. Just the plastic. Nothing else whatsoever. No decals, you've got them in the other boxing. No instructions, you've got them in the other boxing. You just get the plastic. Okay, that's it. Now at first you think, oh, why would anyone want to buy that? Remember, you've got nearly all the rest elsewhere. You've got folders and folders of aftermarket markings that you want to do for people. Maybe you want to do it in flight, so you don't really care about the instrument panel and what have you. You're going to stick a pilot in it. You just want the best plastic available. 99% of the time, this again is their own plastic, sometimes not. This is actually the Hesagawa Typhoon, which is really quite difficult to get hold of sometimes in certain countries. Certain countries can get hold of it quite easily. But if I told you that by going by the website, I paid £6 for this, now suddenly you're thinking, I could download the instructions from the website. I don't need the aftermarket instrument panel because, truthfully, the plastic's good enough. And I'm going to do it as a flying demo anyway. And I've got all those aftermarket decals that are in that folder I've got. Suddenly, this is all you really need. You just need the plastic. Occasionally, with some of these boxings, there'll be enough in there nearly for another entire kit anyway, because they'll rebox things for different variations. A good example of this would be their 1/72 Focke-Wulf 190 quad kit, Royal Class 1/72 Focke-Wulf 190A. That has enough plastic in there for 4 full kits, but actually has nearly half as much plastic for another one again. Again, you don't really want to be buying a full kit because that's a waste of money. But you could just buy the plastic. Clever, huh? And a real fucking bargain. So, I hope that sort of explained generally where things are. So you start from an Oak Trees kit that's just the plastic, nothing else. You download your own instructions, you go and find your own decals, bosh, done. Your weekend kit, similar to our Airfix, this would generally be Eduard's own, 1 or 2 markings, the plastic instructions, you're done. Profit Pack kit, generally their own plastic, all the basic aftermarket that you would probably go and buy anyway, generally considered to be the standard Eduard kit. Limited edition kit, sometimes they're their own plastic, sometimes not. Usually even more markings, a bit more extra, and generally not available for the whole time. And Royal Class boxing, everything all in, ready to go, never need to buy anything else. Hope that explains it all well. Again, Scalemates is your friend with these sort of things. If there's a particular piece that you want to build, say for example, a P51 Mustang, now you know which boxing to go and buy. Any questions, always really recommended. I love getting feedback. I love getting a good idea of what people want to see in future. And yeah, Happy New Year and enjoy 2022. See you guys later.